Morning, everyone. I do want to thank the Lord for giving me one more chance to come and worship with you all here. Uh, I think I have about 7 minutes bonus this morning. So I was told 12 o'clock I will get the stage, but I got it 7 minutes earlier than that. But we'll try to conclude in time. Before getting into the word, just wanted to share about the ministry. Just came back a couple of months back from ministry in India. So just wanted to let you know what we did over there, because a lot of youngsters are not there. So that's not most of you know about India, but those who don't know, this is the country, um, vast opportunities and the land of great opportunities. That's what I have mentioned over here. This is the idol worship for the people those are not born and brought up in India, various type of worship. And so what I believe, if you go back to the Old Testament, everything that was prevalent there, this is what is being carried to India. And what I believe, Abraham's one of the wife was Keturah. And if you read the Bible, it says the descendants of Keturah went to the east. So all the cultural, if you look at the Hindu religion and the culture, everything is from the Old Testament, the Babylonian culture. So whatever was prevalent, like when somebody dies, they put on sackcloths. When somebody dies, they shave their head and the hairs. And the temple worship that you see inside, the Levitical worship that you see in the Jewish culture, the same thing. So I believe it has been carried from there to India. So all those animal worship that was prevalent in the Old Testament also, like this, the tree worship, the animal worship, all those things. So how did this go to India? So it all, because people say Christianity is a Western religion. It's not a Western religion. It's an Eastern religion. So everything started from the Middle East, basically. So that's how it all went to India. Then there is the river worship. This is one of the idols. You have river worship when people dip and they think salvation. This morning that we were studying from the book of Hebrews, how great salvation. But for them, this salvation is attained by dipping themselves in the river, the holy river Ganges. So we went to Bihar this time, and we had, if you see, we went to the villages over there, and these are the people with whom I am sitting there, and they are the people in the villages. They have this devil spirit coming into them, and these are the people who play the drum the whole night, and they are being paid to play the drum. They dance in a family wherever there is issue, or in the village, to take out the evil spirit from their house or the village. So that's hidden there. So he's making that drum there, and this person is the one sitting with me who does this performance. So whole night they will sit and play that drum to take out the devil out of the family or the people. So that's how they were open to the gospel that we were sharing. And this is the street, the villages that we went over there, and they had that. These are the few workers there with me sharing the gospel to these villages. So on one side you hear that it's very hard to reach out to the people, but on the other side, if you see, we went to these villages. So but the only, you have more advantage, right, Isaac brother, when we used to go to the villages of the Ghaziabad and all. If you are fluent in Hindi, you don't have issues. But if you don't know Hindi, then you are in trouble, right? So you can mingle with this group of people there. So this was the other place that we went. So this was during the night. I mean, Bihar, still there is no electricity. So we had to sit on the rooftop for a meeting. We invited the villagers, and with our cell phone, we took the flash. We didn't have even flashlight. The cell phone was our flashlight, and we were doing that gospel meeting on the rooftop. Then this is in a house. So here I experienced the first time, I have watched it in TV, I have heard about that, but the devil spirit, this is the first time that I saw in front of me. So in this house, as I was preaching the gospel, there was a brother who is in his early 30s or late 20s, and his mother brought that brother and said that whenever somebody prays for him, evil spirit comes out of him and he starts dancing and throwing up. So I preached the gospel. After that, I was praying. As soon as I started praying, I could see he was outside the door, and it distracted me so much. He started throwing up, vomiting. And then he fell on the ground and he was yelling at the top and he was just kicking here and there. And his mother said, don't, people should not touch him. I mean, it takes some time. I don't know what was it. It was not something like somebody told him to do that or act like that. It was not an acting, but I saw it. I still don't know what it is. But one good thing that happened, his mother came and said, whenever somebody prayed, he will yell at the top of the voice. No, he will just throw up, not yell. But that day he was yelling. So she said maybe the spirit came out of his body. And the next day, when we had the meeting in the church, he came and he sat there at the back. The whole day meeting that we had, he sat at the back and he did not create any problem. So I don't know what happened, but those are the things that you see in the villages. So this was the audio is not visible. If you, I cannot point it out there, that brother is sitting there, but he started coming to the church. So this is the place where we had, there's a local church over there. So there is a brother, he's a local there. He's serving the Lord. There's the same place. And then we had fellowship on the rooftop, almost 150 to 200 people. So they enjoyed the fellowship over there. The first time I went to Andhra, so they invited me for a conference, workers conference. About 350 people gathered there, and the whole day. So this was in the mountain top. One good thing that I found about Andhra, so many work is going on there in Andhra, but this was toward Orissa border. When you say Andhra, it's huge. Not the southern, not the place near to Kerala or something. It's like Vishakhapatnam, Orissa side. So we had the conference for 3 days, almost 350 people came, and from morning till evening. The only problem that I incurred was there was no toilet. So I used to eat at 7 o'clock and then come down from the mountain top at about 9 o'clock. Then only I had to eat my food because I knew there is no toilet. It would be hard. So in emergency, you cannot do anything. So you could not even pass urine because for them it was okay. So I could not even drink a glass of water. So from morning, I am the only speaker who is speaking almost 7 to 8 session, even though it was very tiring, but I was blessed and they were blessed. If you look at these people, they are so hungry for the word. And the good thing is these assemblies, there are about, in this area, there are 100 assemblies. The work that was started by Narayan Paul, but he passed away. Then there was some problem, but now they have gathered together. 100 assemblies, they gathered together. No appeal, nothing for the conference. Even if you look at that pandal or the thing that they have decorated, 350 people who gathered, nighttime they have that mattresses, they will put it over there and they will sleep. And this is a village. In the village, the government has donated a land for the church. So they started the building, but they could not complete it. I will show you. And during the lunchtime, the whole villagers gather there for the food. It's not only the Christians who are gathering. So 90% are Christian, 10% are still not Christian. But when the food is served, everyone will stand. I will show you the picture how they are standing there. And how they work is they don't send appeals, but within the church, 100 assemblies are asked to donate 500 rupees each. And then every individual will bring, because they are farmers, they will bring grains, they will bring pulses and all those things, and they will themselves cook in the village. They will themselves collect the fund. So I wanted to offer some donations to them. They said, no, we have raised the fund, so we don't seek donations from outside. That is the way, and that should be the way. That was how the first century church worked, and they gathered themselves amongst themselves and they contributed, and that's how. So I was really blessed in this meeting. These are the people, the tribal people, and this is the village. It's a beautiful place, the mountains all around. So this was the culture. Why I wanted to show you, it's very awkward for me, but they continuing that culture. They said, how blessed are the feet of those who bring glad tidings. So they will wash the feet of the preacher who comes over there. That is a cultural aspect. And Jesus did that, right? So the humility of the villagers.
It is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how we came. So Dad sat there to be preserved. So, 100 assemblies, 100 tribal people, and this is the village. So it is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how we became. So Dad sat there to be preserved. 100 assemblies, 100 tribal people, and this is the village. So it is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how we became. So Dad sat there to be preserved. 100 assemblies, 100 tribal people, and this is the village. So it is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how we became. So Dad sat there to be preserved. 100 assemblies, 100 tribal people, and this is the village. So it is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how we became. So Dad sat there to be preserved. 100 assemblies, 100 tribal people, and this is the village. So it is the tribal culture. When the priest comes to the village, it should bring the good tidings. So that's how
This is a Sunday worship. If you look, the Lord's table is kept there, and on the floor you will see some vegetables kept there. So it's not only the the money that they put on the offering bag, whatever they have, the 10% goes to the priest, and the rest they will keep it, and they have fellowship after the church. So it was such a wonderful way of meeting these people. And if you see, after the church, nobody runs away. Like, we gather in the church, and then some of the assemblies, they will just, everybody is busy, but you will see they will make sure in this church there were 150 people. It was so hard for me. Everyone had to come and shake hand with me, so, but they make sure that they will have fellowship with you. You see, they are standing in the line to shake hand with me. Elderly, young, everyone. That's how they are trained. So this was the family conference that we had. It started from morning till late night. Food was available there, and they all stayed on the top of the mountain. I had to come down. So when I was preaching, one of the preaching, I could not do that. So it's easy to preach, but difficult to practice. That's what they say, right? So I preached this message, and everyone fell down on their knees. I could not fall down on my knees. So I was praying how Elijah prayed. And every one of them, they were on the knees, and they were crying and praying. So I felt that they were blessed. And they invited me next month for the conference, but I said I cannot come because of my assignments here. So 20,000 people are gathering for this conference. 20,000 brethren people. Our conference maximum 500, 600, 20,000. How do they do this? All these 100 churches, they will have their own tents, and every church takes care of the food of their own people, and they will gather in the field, because now the harvesting is done, the fields are empty. So they will have these tents in this field. And because they don't have toilet again, so they have a tractor like thing where they have built a temporary toilet for the speakers. So they wanted me to be there, but I said maybe next year. This is a morning meeting that we had. See, this is the lunchtime. The whole village has gathered there. They themselves cook the food. They have their own. They don't buy anything. Everything is donated by the church people. This is a night meeting that we had. So this was the church. This is already completed. This was the church. Next to, you see, there's the place, the pandal, or what they call, the cloth thing that you see. There we gathered. But this church has the facility, but the only problem was they didn't have roof. So I said, why did you stop the construction? So they said, because whatever money they had, they built it. The laborers are they themselves. So then I said, okay, I will get the funds for the roof, but only one condition: I can raise funds for this church. Next time when I come, I want a toilet to be built next to that, because even if you guys don't. So he promised. So then I came back to US, and one assembly in Dallas, they sponsored $5,000. They sponsored for the roof. So I think they might have started the work over there. So God's provision was there. Was in Bengal, the family conference that we had in Bengal. Almost 300 people gathered, and God. This is in place, IIT Kharagpur. Most of you know, that was the place where we had this conference. We were 3 speakers, and there were the local believers who were blessed. These are the people over there. Again, this is another place in Jharkhand that God has used us over there. So please pray for all those people. They are really working for the Lord. That God may use them. And one more prayer point before brother comes, as he comes here. So pray for the ministry that we are doing, my family and my wife. Couple of years back, because every year we go to New York to do an outreach in Bronx area and Times Square. So 2 years back when we were doing the outreach, some of you know about that. So we had an incident when we were standing on the walkway and preaching the gospel. It's a very busy junction over there, and within 3 hours we can distribute maybe about 3,000 New Testament. So we were distributing that New Testament there, and it's a 4-way road. So I was on the other side, Nancy and my younger two were on this side. There was another brother and family on the other side. So as they were standing on the walkway and all the stores are there and people just move around. So busy street over there. So as Nancy was holding on to the banner and my younger two kids were standing there and I didn't see anything, a white guy stood there and he said he was praying about, you are preaching about God, so he didn't like it. So Nancy saw that and she knew that he is going to hurt her. So and then this guy pounced on her and she fell down on the concrete, but she was prepared because she saw he is going to hurt her. He was a tall guy. So instead of falling like this on the concrete, she fell down like this with her head hit on the hand, but she was flat on the concrete. And it's a busy road. So I did not see that. My youngest daughter, she started yelling at the top of the voice, and my boy got froze over there. So I thought that she tripped and fell down and under the car or something. So I ran from the other side, and I see this big guy on top of her, sitting on top of her, punching her on the head. And there was another brother who tried to pull this guy from her top, and he was kicked and thrown away. Immediately, 10 to 15 police car came there because that area is very bad area. So they were already there. So 10 to 15 police had to pull this guy, put him down in shackles. And then by then, she did not, she was just frozen. She was not speaking. I asked what happened. She did not tell. Immediately there were scratches all around her body. We were taken to the hospital. He was taken to the hospital. And then there were case going on. Still, I believe there is case going on, but we did not pursue that. So he was put in jail. And then one of the sisters who was with us said, Jaimon uncle, you have to do the CT or MRI of her head because I saw that guy punching on her head. So we stayed in the hospital in New York till 12 o'clock night. They did the back MRI, but there was nothing, they said. But when we went back to Houston, we found there is a bulge on her back, so she cannot stand for long. And now recently, last year, we found out her eyesight, one of the vision of her eye was going bad. So we found out there is a hole in her retina. So we found out that it was because of a major fall or shock. So that's the only shock, that guy was punching on her head. So now she had a major surgery a few months back where she had to be on prone position for 14 days, 24/7. So they inserted nitrogen gas bubble in her left eye to close that hole. And the recovery was 14 days, you cannot raise your head. So she was 14 days, 24/7 on the bed. By God's grace, the hole is closed, but still she does not have got that vision back. So she cannot drive. But she is okay. God has protected her and she is strong in the Lord. So pray for her that if it's God's will that she may get the eyesight. Her right eye is functioning, so she can see from the right eye, not with the left. So there is another surgery that we are waiting on, the complication of the first surgery. We wanted to do it in November, but we couldn't. But maybe in future we are planning to do the surgery of the eye. We don't know if she will get back that eyesight, but pray that God may give her that healing and we may not get discouraged.